U.S. President Donald Trump says it's not too late for Iran to give up nuclear program. Nothing's too late, Trump said when asked about whether direct U.S. involvement in Israel's military operations against Iran was becoming inevitable. According to Associated Press, he added, "I can tell you this. Iran's got a lot of trouble." Trump's comments came as during an event on the White House South Lawn to watch the raising of a new flagpole.
Where's your mindset on that?
You strike the Iranian nuclear component. I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Have the Iranians reached out to you, Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what does he say?
I said it's very late. I said it's very late to be talking. We may meet. It's. I don't know. There's a big difference between now and a week ago, right? Big difference.
You said we may meet. Trump said we may meet. Is this about Vance and with Trump possibly going to Kharkiv?
It's about anybody. They even suggested they come to the White House. It's a big difference. But they've suggested that they come to the White House. That's, courageous, but, it's like not easy for them to do. But they suggest, because I can't go now because of what's going on. I had to come back early from the G7, which was terrific, by the way, in Canada. Really terrific, good people.
Is there a possibility of next 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like? They were bullies.
Well, you know what it is, unconditional surrender. Two very simple words, very simple, unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it, I give up, no more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And we'll see. The next week is going to be very big. Maybe less than a week. Maybe less. But is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile, very, zealots really, but to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that, could destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust. That dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. This is just not a threat you can have. Thank you very much, everybody.
Can you share what you've told Prime Minister Netanyahu about getting involved?
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov on Tuesday said the Russian embassy in Tehran was working around the clock to make sure all Russian nationals could evacuate from Iran, though a checkpoint on the border with Azerbaijan. According to Associated Press, he said Moscow was very grateful to Azerbaijan for assistance on the border. This work continues around the clock. Peskov deplored that the situation in the Middle East was still on the path of further escalation, galloping escalation. Asked if there's been any response to Moscow's proposal to mediate the conflict, Peskov said, "At the moment, we see a reluctance, at least on the part of Israel, to turn to any kind of mediation services."
Все граждане, которые находятся в Тегеране и которые уже были на связи, для них, для всех обеспечивается возможность эвакуации. Выходит в основном и доставка осуществляется к КПП на границе с Азербайджаном. Азербайджанские наши друзья также предоставляют все максимально благоприятные условия, за что мы им очень признательны. Эта работа продолжается круглосуточно. Ситуация пока идет по пути дальнейшей эскалации, галопирующей эскалации. Уровень непредсказуемости абсолютный. Конечно, мы в данном случае призываем стороны к максимальной сдержанности, с тем, чтобы впоследствии так или иначе перейти все-таки на мирный политико-дипломатический трек урегулирования. В настоящий момент мы видим нежелание, как минимум, со стороны Израиля обращаться к каким-либо посредническим услугам и вообще выходить на мирный трек урегулирования. Мы согласны с президентом Трампом. Это была большая ошибка, когда по исключению России из формата восьмерки. Вот. Но очень хорошо известна наша позиция, которая заключается в том, что сейчас для нас семерка потеряла свое прикладное значение. Нет, пока понимания о следующем раунде переговоров нет. Хотя вы знаете, что проделана значительная работа по выполнению тех договоренностей, которые были достигнуты в Стамбуле. Российская сторона полностью выполнена данные ей обещания, согласованные в Стамбуле. Ну, теперь в ближайшие дни уже наступит черед выхода на понимание о возможных сроках продолжения этой работы.